I realized how much that I've actually memorized the energy of the emotion of disappointment. Anybody else? Are you somebody who can't really get excited, or I say can't, but doesn't really get excited about stuff because you just are waiting for the other shoe to drop? Like, think about it. And we could bring astrology into this. I have a Capricorn moon. What's your moon sign? Your moon is your moods and your emotions. It can tell you a little bit more about how you feel those things inside of you, because the moon is also your internal world. It's the you that you may not necessarily show everybody. It's who you are when you're by yourself, to be honest. But what's your moon sign? And disappointment was something that I experienced very early on in my childhood. Which ironically, like, I loved my daddy. Like, my daddy wasn't really around a lot, and so when I got to see him, like, I'm very much like him, and it'd be so exciting. But also, there was a lot of disappointment that came with him, because as a kid, whenever you hear, "Oh, I'm coming to get you," and nobody shows up, you start to learn how not to get excited about people doing the things that they say that they're going to do. And sometimes that can translate over into, it could be other men, which I've had that experience with men before, and just some people in general. Like, we can. My mom would say, like, don't get your hopes up, don't hold your breath. And so as a kid, I learned how not to get too excited about something that I am excited about, because, or that I wanted, because, oh, the odds are, there's a 50-50 chance that this not actually gonna happen. So what is it, like, what is an emotion that you have memorized? Because doing the meditations and breaking the habit of being yourself, I love this book. But doing the meditations in the morning, not long after I wake up, has really helped me become more aware of my emotional state at any given time. My emotional, my energetic state at any given time. That's why I had that epiphany yesterday. I was just like, wait a minute. Because there was something, I think I was listening to the actual book. There's a part, and it's like, oh, imagine that, somebody tells you that they're going to take you on this trip to Hawaii, and you know that they're serious. And the first thing that popped into my head was like, how I know that they're serious? How do I know that they're not pulling my leg? How do I know that they're not just fucking with me and getting my hopes up so that they can just let me down to try to make themselves feel better? Because some people can have narcissistic, I don't know if we call it narcissistic, but tendencies where, oh, they want to promise you these grand things because it makes them feel good about themselves, but then when it comes time to deliver, they don't actually deliver. So having, looking at people through that lens a lot has led to me, just experiencing a lot of doubt in people, which then I experienced a lot of doubt within myself. So in this morning's meditation, I was like, you know what, I want to release the doubt. And I've been releasing self-doubt, especially for a while, because for me, and I know I'm not the only one, dreaming and imagining was shut down really young for me. And again, like, there's certain phrases I heard a lot. Well, it's nice to dream, which that energy comes with, what are you dreaming for? It's not going to come true anyway. I know I'm not the only person who had their dreams crushed when they were a kid. We're all built differently. Some people, that made their resilience to want to make it happen stronger. Others of us, again, Capricorn moon was like, nah, I'm just going to shut the whole thing down. You know what? You're right. This ain't going to work. This ain't going to work, because I wasn't necessarily raised in that energy of anything is possible. It was, what is practical? Go with what is practical, with what makes sense, with what has worked before. And when you are someone who is meant to break the mold, who is meant to, entrepreneurship is basically that. It's doing something that could be unpredictable, because people say, like, oh, working for somebody is predictable. It's not. You could get laid off at any moment. I am a testament to that. Like, you think that you you got everything laid out for you, and then boom, it's all gone. Because also I wasn't really meant to stay there any longer. Anyway, that's a whole nother story for another day. But what I will say is that in these meditations, and I'm getting ready to write my own versions, but in these meditations, there is this part where you become so observant of who you've been, because once you can admit who you've been, you can name it, you can begin to do something about it. If you are not aware of who you've been, and it's not to shame you, like, we all have procrastinated. I don't care who you are. If you tell me you haven't, you're a fucking liar. We all have doubted ourselves at some point in time. It may not have been for a long time for some people, but other people, they've lived in self-doubt their whole lives because that's what they learned, you know? So there's been negative emotions that we have all experienced that have impacted our lives in some way, shape, and form. And what are the things that you want to change in your life? What type of person, what do you want to change about who you are? Right? Some people, they just want to be able to stick on a schedule. Like, they have ambition, they have all this stuff, but they get caught up when it comes time to stop working. When it comes time to release the work so that they can relax. Because some people, a lot of us, really, Capricorn moon can also be a workaholic. I have a Capricorn stellium. That's 3 or more placements in a sign, and a Scorpio stellium. And if you know anything about Capricorn, it can be the workhorse. It can be the workaholic. It can be wanting to get everything done. And we have a whole country of people that are like that. That it's like, oh, we can't stop until the work is done. Well, sometimes the work isn't all meant to be done in one day. Again, you can't eat a whole elephant in one bite. You can't eat a whole bowl of rice in one bite. You got to break that shit down. And sometimes you need to break that shit down over several days. So learning how to show up for yourself daily is going to be hugely important. So what is it that you want to change in your life, my darlings? What is it that you want to change in your habits, in your personality? What goals do you want to reach? Because goals require changes. They're going to require shifts and changes because there's a reason that you have not attained what it is or achieved what it is that you desire yet, because there's something that needs to be shifted or you need to work towards it. Shifting doesn't always mean negative. Change isn't always negative. Stress isn't always negative. Even when you make changes that you want, you are going to experience stress because it is something that is out of the ordinary, out of the scheduled programming for you. So what do you want to change? I'm going to keep asking that question. What do you want to change? Put it in the comments. What do you want to change about yourself? What do you want to change about your life? Because what I'm here to do, what I had been fighting for a while was like, no, I'm here to help you live a better life. And I had briefly talked to this person, this guy. And I had said that I was like, listen, what I know about me is that anybody who comes in contact with me that's around me for at least, it's connected with me in that type of way, whether it's friendship, whether it is, potentially dating or intimacy, you're going to leave and having learned something. Like, your life is going to be better for meeting me, whether you want to admit it or not. And the old me would have felt like that was really cocky and arrogant to say, but I'm like, I've literally seen it. I have seen the proof. And he was like, oh, so my life was just shit before you, huh? I was like, nobody said that. I did not say that. Like, you said that, and that's a projection of how you feel about your life. About some people, how they feel about receiving help or guidance or learning from other people. And I'm like, nah, what I'm sure of in this world is that you're going to learn something from me. Whether it's from watching my affirmations, whether it's from staying tuned for this 9 minutes now, I'm shooting for 10, at the longest, but whether you're here for the long form content, it doesn't matter whether you find me in passing, I'm going to say some shit. And it's going to crack you open and be like, oh, fuck. It's going to crack a door open. Not even just crack you open. It's going to crack a door open and the sunlight is just going to shine up in this dark-ass room. And you can be like, ah, damn. I ain't think about it like that before. I never heard nobody say it like that before. And it's so important that now I can say that without feeling arrogant or like I'm bragging or whatever. Because I refuse to be humble ever again. You want to know why? Because humble means putting yourself in the dirt. Humble means putting yourself below somebody else. You can You can talk about your gifts, your talents, your skills without being arrogant. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like the difference is that I'm confident, I know what I'm great at, but I might not be for you. My energy might not be for you. You may not fuck with how I vibe or how I talk or how I speak about things, and your own doubts and projections can come on to me, and I don't really care. I don't care anymore. Because my whole purpose, part of my whole purpose, is to help you see the gold that lives within you, because you are gold. There's another girl on here, she's like, you're a star. Because you fucking are. And how your energy radiates out into this world is unique. It's as unique as your face. It's unique as your fingerprints, your palm prints. We're not going to talk about palmistry, but that's a whole thing too. Like, and it's all in your charts. It's all in your makeup. But it's time for you to start living as the person that you were born to be. And you have access to that at all times. So if you want to live, to change things in your life that you haven't been able to change, if you want to be your most authentic self, self-expression is more than just getting on the internet and talking. That's not for everybody. It's in my charts. I got Gemini midheaven. I'm here to yap. Yap, 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 yap. But somebody with a Capricorn midheaven may not be here to be the yapper on screen unless there's other Mercury shit in their chart. So expressing yourself is about boundaries. It's about expressing your needs. It's about expressing your wants, your desires, your dreams, your anger, your joy, your excitement. Expression is getting it out. Like, the verb express means to represent in visual arts, put into words, to press, squeeze out, speak one's mind, represent, describe, portray, imitate, translate, literally to press out. Source also of the Italian espresso. Interesting. You literally press the water through the beans. That's anyway. But from the X, the prefix meaning out, the Latin pressare, to press, push. So it's, again, to push out. Whenever we hold things in for too long, they can fester. They can begin to take on a mind of their own. Emotions are energy in motion. And I said this to an old coach of mine once, and she tried to just dismantle the fuck out of that. And I was just like, now I know. I'm like, dog, whatever your truth is fine for you. But what I know is that energy, emotion, energy in motion makes fucking sense to me. Dr. Joe actually talks about that in the book too. Because emotions, feelings are the language of the body. Thoughts are the language of the mind. Whenever you are thinking, your body is going to start making you're putting energy in motion, and it's going to start showing up in your body, in how you need to express, how you feel those feelings. So it's really important for you to express that out. There was another, this is the last thing, we had 13 minutes. But there was this video, Gabor, I can fuck his name up every time. Brilliant man, if you know him. I think he's a doctor too, Dr. Gabor. I'll probably look his name up here in a second, but he's talking about like that women, especially women who were in an unhappy marriage and didn't express, were 4 times more likely to perish, to expire early. And women who were in an unhappy marriage, relationship, or situation that were able to express lived longer. Like, and it's really interesting because it makes sense. There's an episode of American Dad, which I love American Dad, Roger the Alien. Roger's a dick. And, you know, he's loving. He's probably sociopathic and narcissistic and all those things too, but, you know, he's an alien, whatever. But there's an episode where they're like, Robert, why you gotta be such an or Roger, why you gotta be such an asshole all the time? And he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna be nice. Well, when he's not expressing his bitchiness, it builds up a bile inside of him, and it literally starts to, like, he gets sick. He's on his deathbed. And I've said this about me before. I'm like, I'm expressive. If I don't express myself, it builds up and backs up in my system. And whether I'm expressing it to you, whether I'm expressing it online in the space, well, to you basically, right? Whether I'm expressing it to a friend, whether I'm expressing it to a coach or a, you know, guide that is in my life, whether I'm expressing it out loud to God, spirit, universe, the angels, the ancestors, my guardians, my guides, my dogs, whether I'm just expressing it out loud to myself, whether I'm recording it and re-listening to it so I can hear what the fuck I'm saying, so I can observe me, it doesn't matter. Whether you're writing it out, whether you're painting it out, but I mean, honestly, I think it is important to put it into words sometimes, in certain ways. But whether you're dancing it out, you're putting it into movement, I don't give a fuck. Like, you have every right to express yourself. And that is one of the things that we do here. It is authentic self-expression. Again, that can look different for everyone. But if you don't feel like you're expressing who you truly are in your relationships, in the world, let's talk. Like, you deserve to express yourself. So my darlings, I love you. We haven't done one of these in a while. And these feel like mini podcast episodes in a sense. Because I did record my first podcast episode while I was walking. Haven't put it out yet. We're working. We're gonna do that this week. But you know, just come on in. Like, come on. It's time for you to come into yourself. It's time for you to be who the fuck you are. It's time for you to stop hiding from you, from the world. It's time for you to at least admit to God, Spirit, Universe, the higher creative power, who you've been and who you want to be instead. When you can see where you've come from, you can then change where you want to go. Because if you don't know where you're headed, how do you know where you're going? So remember, my darling, you are the ritual, you are the magic, and belief in yourself is the first step to self-mastery. And if you are ready to take this to the next level, schedule a consultation with me, an insight call at solunametanoia.com. Also have the community available and open, Sacred Rituals for Self-Mastery, and also have business coaching for women entrepreneurs available as well. If you're interested in joining the mastermind that is every month to meet with women entrepreneurs that are doing the damn thing, that have been through the things that you're going through now. We can receive, you give guidance, you receive guidance, you're guided by me. I put you through guided meditation to get you, to set up the scene, and then you go and you break out and you build this community together. And community is fucking everything. I never used to like it. Like, I didn't like going to group workout classes or anything, but I realized how important community is wherever I go. And making those genuine connections, building friendships, building relationships, because you never know who you're gonna meet that has something that you need, or you never know who's gonna meet you that you have something that they've been looking for. So it could be your art, it could be your business, it could be whatever. You know somebody that knows somebody that can help somebody else. Like, we're all here to help each other. And some people are like, I don't need anybody. Okay, that's what you've been conditioned to believe. That's what you learned because the people that you were around were not dependable. You couldn't rely on those people. So it's time for you to find people that you can connect with and rely on in certain specific ways. Not for everything, but in certain specific ways. I'll talk to y'all soon. I love you.